Hey everyone, today in this video I'm going to show you how you can build a multi-authentication system for a complete e-commerce website who is going to build using Laravel. Okay, and if you learn this process, it doesn't mean that you will only able to use it into e-commerce website. Either you have a course selling website or any subscription based website or any social media platform or anywhere else, you will able to use the same style, same method to build multi-authentication system there. Okay, and this video also part of our complete e-commerce website which we are building in this channel. So sit back, relax and enjoy. It's going to be so easy and very light work to do. Okay, in Laravel 11, if we want to build a multi-authentication system, we just need to follow these 7 simple steps. Okay, first step is install Laravel. I know all of you can do that. Composer, create project, Laravel/Laravel, then project name. Laravel installed. Next step is you have to install Breeze. To install Breeze, you go to Laravel documentation and go to packages section, go to Breeze, and after that simply type this command to your command prompt. Composer require Laravel/Breeze --dev. Okay, let me do it. Okay, I'm going to open a terminal here simply and then paste it and run it. Okay, so after you install Laravel, next step is install Breeze. In our system there's going to be 3 different type of user and you can build as many as you want by using the system I'm going to show you. In our system there's going to be admin, that means a super admin or the site owner. Second one going to be the vendor who going to sell different kinds of product, creating a store in our e-commerce website. And third is normal user or customer, and this customer able to browse, add to cart and buy any product, right? So and for these 3 different kinds of feature, we are creating the multi-authentication system, and we will control every route using our middleware. Okay, so after you install Breeze, we will move into the next step. Alright, so the command executed successfully. Next we have to run is php artisan breeze install. Copy this, come back to the code editor, paste it once and boom. Next it asking for us that which stack we want to use here. Simply type here Blade, and do you want the dark mode support? I type here no, and I want to use PHP unit, type 1, and simply it going to install this all kind of thing. Next we have to run php artisan migrate. Copy this one. Okay, as soon as it finished we will run that. All right, let me clear it. Okay, next we're going to type php artisan migrate, so it will migrate the files. Okay, nothing to migrate. Why? Because our database is yet not connected. I'm going to use MySQL instead of SQLite, and let me comment out all of this thing. And db host, do not change it, do not change the port as well. And our database, let me create a database in my PHP my admin, and this database name going to be elecom. Okay, then create, fine, go to back to our code editor and give here the database name elecom. My username is root and I have no password set in my PHP my admin, so I don't have to do anything here. And again let's run php artisan migrate. So it's migrating the user table, cache table and job table in our database. If I go to our database, and the database we created elecom have right now all of this table. Okay, now my friend, go to your migration file, create user. Okay, let me show you this one, create user table. Go to this migration file and do a little change here. Okay, copy this table line, paste it once and change it to like tiny integer. Okay, type tiny integer and name going to be role, and we're going to give a default value of that is 2. Okay, now why this one after email? This is going to be another field in our user table called role, who is going to hold different kinds of value for different kinds of user. Like if a user is a normal user, his role going to be 2. If a user is a vendor or seller, his role going to be 1. If a user is an admin, his role going to be 0. Okay, and based on this role, later we're going to maintain our middleware. Okay, so we did a little change here. Let's run the migration again. PHP artisan migrate fresh, and it will freshly migrated this table in our database. And if I go back to our database again, refresh it, go to user table, you will see I have a field right now called role, and I set here a default value is 2. That means whenever any user register in our website, he will get default value role as 2, and this 2 is equal to user, normal user or customer of our website. So if the role is 0, that means he is an admin. If the role is 1, he is a seller, and if the role is 2, he is like simply user. Okay, next step, let me create an account and check it is working or not. We have the login and registration system. We go to the registration page and we're going to create an account here. Before that, we have few more command to run. First one is npm install and second one is npm run dev. So let's run this one. Npm install, and then lastly npm run dev. Fine. Okay, clear it. Fine. So our bridge installed successfully, and we also added the role in our database table. Now let me create an account here. Name, let me give it name of user, email user@gmail.com, password, let me give a 8-digit password here, and click on register. We registered successfully and redirect us to the dashboard page. If I go to the database again and click on browse, you can see I have a user who is role defined as 2, because we said by default user going to get the role of 2. So our 2 step is done. First one is install Laravel, second one is install bridge. Third, we need to create different view and route file for each different role. Okay, suppose I am an admin, so I want to redirect admin to admin page when he login. Suppose I am a vendor, I want to redirect myself to vendor page, vendor dashboard page when I log in as vendor. And if I simple user, then I will redirect myself to this dashboard page. So I need 2 more different view file for different role user. For that reason, I will go to resource. Okay, resource. Okay, let me minify. Okay, fine. Close this one. Let me close all of this and simply go to resource view, and we already have a dashboard.blade.php. For now, just simply copy paste it once and then change the name from dashboard to admin admin.blade.php. Later I'm going to show you how we can set a complete admin panel here. Don't worry about that, that's coming in our videos. Okay, and let's type here admin dashboard, and similarly I'm going to copy paste it again and change it to seller or vendor.blade.php and vendor dashboard or seller dashboard. Okay, simple. Now I need to create these 2 route as well. And to create route, go to routes web.php, and we already have a route called get. Just copy this once and paste it twice and change it to like admin/dashboard, and it's going to return the view of admin and give it a name of admin as well. And next one, give here value of vendor slash dashboard. It's going to return the vendor view file and give it a name of vendor. Simple. And now if I go to my website again and here I type like admin slash dashboard, I will able to access the admin dashboard page. If I type here vendor.dashboard, I will able to access the seller dashboard page, although I am a user. So our route created, our view created, but there's no kinds of restriction. Although I am a user, I am able to access the vendor dashboard, and also I am able to access the admin dashboard. And to restrict user from accessing these routes, all we have to do is we have to simply go to our next few steps. Okay, first of all, what I want to do is I want to redirect user to different pages when they log in based on their role. To do so, I have to go to authenticate session controller file, and you will find it inside app http controller auth authenticated session controller. And here you can see when we log in, this function work. Public function is store login request. When user login, it redirect the session and then redirect to the dashboard page. Now here the twist. First of all, after user login, I will catch his role. So let's type here auth user role. And how I get auth user role? Simply use the auth method, and whenever I use this auth method, make sure it's also get used here. Use eliminate support facet auth. Okay, then next I'm going to use the user function or method, and from here I will access the role value. Now based on this role value, I will redirect user to different pages when they log in. So I'm just going to type here if auth user role is equal 0. Okay, that means if he's a youth admin, where I want to redirect him, just cut it, paste it once. I want to redirect him to the admin route. Okay, else if auth user role is equal 1, if the auth user role is equal 1, then I want to redirect him to which page or which route? To the vendor route. So if the auth user role is equal to 1, I will redirect him to the vendor route. So if role is equal to 0, then I will redirect him to the admin route after login. If role is equal to 1, I will redirect him to the vendor route after login. Else what remain? If he is not a user, if he is not a admin or vendor, then simply he should be a user, and if he is a user, I will simply send him to the dashboard route. Okay, so this redirection will happen after user login. Okay, if a user is admin, he will redirect to the admin route. If a user is a normal user, he will redirect to the dashboard route. And if a user is a vendor, he will redirect to the vendor route. Now, for me, I am right now role 2. That means I am a normal user. Let me set it to role 0. That means I am right now an admin. If I log out from here, okay, try to log in again using the same details, you will see I'm reading to the admin route, because I already said that if role is equal to 0, that means if I am an admin, then I will go to the admin page or admin route. That's final. Next, still I am able to access the vendor dashboard, although I am an admin. Still I am able to access the user dashboard, although I am an admin. So no restriction yet. Next step, going to create the restriction. So first of all, we need to create a middleware to control all this role and restrict user from accessing different kinds of pages. And to do so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply create here a middleware. I'm going to create one single middleware, and using that I will maintain all of this role. Okay, so PHP artisan make middleware, middleware, not wire. Okay, PHP artisan make middleware. I'm going to give this name of role manager. Okay, and enter, and it will create us a middleware file which we will find inside app.http middleware role manager. And inside this we have to write some line of code. Okay, first of all just follow me. Okay, first of all give here another attribute called role. It's not getting used here yet, but will be used later. Delete everything inside and type here if is not auth. That means if a user is not auth, we're going to check that first. If a user is not authenticated, what do we want to do? We want to redirect him to the route. Okay, which route? To the login route. So first of all, check either he is authenticated or not. Okay, if he is not authenticated, we want to send him back to the login phase. Very first option. But you can see I don't have any error here, but you maybe will have a error down this auth, because it needs to use illuminate facet support facet auth. For me it get used automatically, but for you, if it not get used automatically, you will face a error here. Just type use illuminate support facet auth. So first of all we just checked that either user is login or not. Next step, if user login, get auth user role. Okay, simple as before, auth and then user, and then we're going to fetch out the role. We get the auth user role, and now based on this role which we passed here and this auth user role, we will create some switch statement and handle different page access based on user role. Okay, how to do that? It's very simple. Let me type here switch, and inside this let me pass this role. Okay, fine. Now let me type the cases. First case, our first case is going to be admin. If a user is admin, if a user role is set to admin, okay, then we need to also check the user role, auth user role in database. If a user is admin, his auth user role in the database should be equal to 0, right? If a user is admin, his auth user role in database should be 0, and that's what we are saying here. Case admin, if he is an admin, his auth user role in database should be 0. In that case we will send him to return next, and then what? Request. Simple. Now this case is finished. We need to move into the next case, but before that give it a break. And this is how we write switch statement, right? Next case going to be vendor. If a user is vendor, then his auth user role in database should be equal 1, and in that case we're going to return him to next request. Then give it a break. Again, case number 3. What is our case number 3 going to be? Normal user or customer. If a user is a customer, what is auth user role going to be? Is auth user role going to be equal 2, and in that case we're going to return next request. And finally give it the break. So we define here 3 role. If you have more than 3 role, you can just type them here. For me, I have only 3 role, so I type here 3. If you have more than 3, you can type here like super admin, editor, then manager, whatever you have, just type them here inside of this Swiss case. Okay, next we're going to handle pages. Redirect user to appropriate URL based on their role. We're going to do that right now. We're going to type here another Swiss case. And in this time, we're going to use this auth user role. And right now, if the case is equal to 0, that means if a user auth user role is 0, then we want to redirect him to the route. Which route? Tell me. Route of admin. Okay. Next one. Case 1. If a user auth user role is equal to 1, then we want to redirect him to the route. Which one? Vendor. And finally, if a user auth user role is equal to 2, then we want to redirect him where? To the route of dashboard. Fine. Mission completed. Now finally, I'm just going to move forward, and out of these Swiss cases, simply think like there's no role defined. If there are no role defined, we're just going to simply redirect our user to the route login. So here another line of code which is going to save so many things. Now my friend, let me explain it to you again. I just create one single middleware file, and in this middleware file, in the function handle, I add one attribute called role. And then I first checked that either user authenticated or not. If a user not authenticated, then we send him back to the login page. Or if he authenticated, first of all, we fetch out his role. Okay, auth user role. Then based on this attribute, we write some role here. Role 1 is admin, role 2 is vendor, role 3 is customer. If you have more role, just type the cases. Okay, so first case, if a user is admin, we will check his auth user role is equal 0 or not. If 0, we will return next request. If he is a vendor, then his auth user role should be 1, and if he is a customer, his auth user role should be 2. And based on his auth user role, we will redirect him to different route, and that's what we write here. Next, all we have to do is simply we have to what? Let me show you. We have to declare this middleware to use it, or we have to register this middleware. And in order to register any middleware in Laravel 11, all you have to do is we have to go inside of this bootstrap file and then app.php. And inside of this app.php, just type here middleware, okay, then alias, and then inside of this type your alias, and this is going to be for me role manager, and from which middleware file is going to maintain role manager class. That's it. And you can see it also get automatically used here. If your case it not get automatically used, then use it. Use app HTTP middleware role add manager, and everything should be fine right now. Okay, there's no semicolon required. Everything should be fine right now. All step is done. Now all I have to do is I have to add this middleware to my routes. Okay, let me go to the route, and this is the dashboard route. Which user able to access the dashboard route? Simply, if a user have role manager middleware, customer role, then he will able to access the dashboard route. And who able to access the admin if he is a admin role, and who able to access the vendor if he has a vendor role. That's it. Now go to my website again. I'm into the dashboard page right now. Although my role set up to 0, that means I'm an admin. If I refresh it, you can see I redirect to the admin dashboard page. Okay, and if I try to access vendor dashboard, I will not able to do that because I am an admin, not a vendor. At the same time, if I want to access the user dashboard page, I will not able to do that because I am a admin, not a user. Okay, simple. Next time, wherever we want to use this middleware, simply use it like middleware, role manager, and just type the role which you want to give access or not. So yeah, that's it. Very simple. Let me tell you again what you need to do. First of all, install Laravel, then install Breeze, and then before migrating your files, or if you migrate already, go to your migration file, which is inside database, migration, user table, and add this role here first. Then migrate fresh. Next step, all you have to do is create view and route for each of your role. Then go to authenticate session controller, and then simply maintain in which space you want to give access based on user role after they logged in. Then finally create a middleware, modify it, and then simply register it and use it to route to do the multi-authentication system. Alright, so this is another video of our complete e-commerce website which we're going to build in our channel. Next video I will show you how you can set different admin panel for different user. Complete setup, okay? And also there should be a question in your mind right now. If everyone able to register as user, then how he register as seller? In our e-commerce website, no one will able to register as seller. He need to register as user. Then all he can do is simply request to become a seller in our platform. That's going to be a form he need to fill up to make himself a seller. After he requests to become a seller, our admin will check it, approve it, and then promote him to the seller. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.